Welcome to Influential Sports, where passion meets precision. As I'm your host, Ed, diving deep into the plays, players, and stories shaping the game. And as I'm making this video, the Lions-Bears game is at halftime. It's been very entertaining. I'm enjoying that. So happy Thanksgiving. Hope y'all enjoying some Thanksgiving football, Thanksgiving food, whatever you're doing. But let's get into the video and what I want to talk about today. The Patriots are currently 10-2. They had the best record in the AFC East, the best record in the AFC, and the best overall record in the league. Now, I didn't expect this out of the Patriots. I think the preseason, I think the Patriots will win 9 to 10 games. It's already week 13 and they've won 10 games already. They've exceeded my expectations. I expect them to go 9-8. I did think the addition of Stefon Diggs will help them improve from what was last year. They went 4-13 or something like that. Had a very disappointing season, not many wins, and I felt like the addition of Stefon Diggs definitely helped them improve, but I didn't think it'll make them a title contender, potential Super Bowl contender at this point in the season. And people might say, well, the schedule isn't that hard. At the end of the day, you had to play who's on your schedule. They did that and never exceeded my expectations personally. So shout out to the Patriots. But it's one specific player that I want to talk about. It's not Stefon Diggs. It's not Drake May, who's been phenomenal, but it's actually Marcus Jones, who was an All-Pro player in 2022, and he had a great year. But the Patriots, they only went 8-9 that year when he was an All-Pro, so its impact, it was hard for people to see it with the Patriots going 8-9, but with his, he was elite on kick returns, 27 returns for 645 yards. He had 2 interceptions for 87 yards. One of those interceptions he returned for a touchdown. Had 7 pass deflections, had 34 solo tackles, 5 assisted tackles, 2 tackles for loss. Then on punt returns, he had 29 returns, 362 yards, and a touchdown. And he didn't have any sacks. And he was very good in 2022, which is why he got All-Pro honors. He had an impact on the team, even though fans might not have been able to recognize it, the NFL, seeing that, oh, this is a very impactful guy, whether he's on defense or whether he's on kick or punt returns. And he just had a phenomenal season. And I think the season he's having this year, he should be All-Pro once again. And he hasn't been doing kick returns this year, but he still made a phenomenal impact in every other area, on punt returns, on playing on defense, because I think his defense has been better, not just statistically, but also watching it and seeing that, oh, the Patriots, they have one of the best defenses in the league because of what Marcus Jones is able to do, or he's able to do as a cornerback. And obviously, cornerbacks, they're not expected to get a lot of sacks. Him having 0 sacks didn't mean anything in 2022. But 3 years later, in 2025, he has 1 sack. Which for a cornerback, that's still impressive to even get a sack. Because as a cornerback, you're not expected to get sacks at all. So he does have 1 sack this year, which is more than he had in his All-Pro season, where he had 0. And I'm pretty sure that was his rookie year, if I'm not mistaken, 2022. And then they're much better now. So it's going to be a lot easier for fans to see that impact now that the Patriots are better and that they're actually winning games now and aren't losing as much. He has 3 interceptions this year, one of which was returned for a touchdown, 1 more interception than he had in 2022. He has 11 pass deflections, 4 more than he had in 2022. Has the same amount of solo tackles at 34. Has 16 assisted tackles, which is 11 more than he had in 2022. And he also had 6 tackles for loss, as he only had 2 tackles for loss in 2022. So that number is went up by 4. And then the pace that he's at on punt returns, right now he has 16 returns for 234 yards and a touchdown. And obviously that's 100 less than what he had, but that's with 13 less returns. So it's still plenty of time left in the season. They'll play 12 games. They got 5 more games left in the season. I bet he's going to get to 300. He could even tie that 362 that he had, or maybe even get above that, but I definitely see him tying that. It's just he's been so impactful, and like I said, he hasn't done kick returns, so it might be a bit harder for him to make the All-Pro team, since he doesn't have those kick return yards that he had in 2022, and that's what made him so elite and so good at what he did. But even him making the All-Pro team in 2022 as a rookie, the Patriots going 8-9, being close to the playoffs, being a few games back of making it, and now they're firmly in position. They control their own destiny to be the 1 seed, the overall 1 seed, not just in the AFC, but in the entire league. They're better than the Patriots right now, record-wise. Better than not the Patriots. They are the Patriots. They're better than the Broncos, the Colts, my Eagles, the Rams. They're better than these teams. at the moment record-wise, and I think they'll play better than the Eagles and the Chiefs, who just were in the Super Bowl. Like, regardless of schedule, they played better than the two teams that was just in the Super Bowl, and they'll play better than the Broncos this year and the Colts. Like, they'll look like the best team in the AFC. I said a few weeks ago I thought it was the Colts, but the last 3 weeks the Colts have been disappointing me. Like, the Colts, they should have won that game versus the Chiefs. It was still a close game, but you can't blow that lead against the Chiefs if you want to prove you're a Super Bowl contender. And I think it's still possible they can get there, but I think the Patriots have taken over as the best team, especially in the AFC. I think it goes Patriots, Broncos, then Colts in the AFC. Then in the NFC, I think it's the Rams, then Eagles, because I know the Bears, they got the same record as us. That's my Eagles. But we'll see what happens on Black Friday. I think that'll really tell us who's the better team between those two, both 8-3. The Lions is unfortunately over between us. But back to the main topic of this video, I do think that Marcus Jones has been good enough to be All-Pro again, and he has 5 more weeks to add to the statistics that he's had, just statistically from defense and from punt returns. He's been better than what he was 3 years ago. He's elevated, he's stepped up, and I think he's a big contributor to this team. Like, without his progression, obviously he's been there a few years, and obviously this is Drake May's second season. I think those are two of the biggest things that are helping the Patriots win. Obviously, adding Stephon Diggs was a great addition, but you had a progression of 3 specific players. Stephon Diggs, any team he goes to, they're going to win, whether that's with the Bills, with the Texans. We've seen them still get to the playoffs. Now, he was injured, but he helped them get to the playoffs once again, and they're struggling to be in the playoffs this year. And then the Bills, we don't know what's going on with that, what's going to happen with the Bills. But Hunter Henry, Drake May, and Marcus Jones have really stepped up. You're a star quarterback, you're a franchise quarterback. He might be your next Brady, who knows? I know it's going to get a Bills hill, so it sucks to be a Bills fan. But then you got Hunter Henry, a tight end from Arkansas, one of my favorite tight ends. And then you got Marcus Jones that's taking this leap defensively and on returns. Like, if he did more kick returns this year, like I said, he had 27 in 2022. So if he was doing kick and punt returns this year, I think it'd be clear as day that he should be All-Pro. But even with his defense alone, I think he should be on an All-Pro team this year. I think he should be in the Pro Bowl. Now, if the Patriots go to the Super Bowl, he won't be participating in that. They're going to have bigger fish to fry to being in the Pro Bowl. But Marcus Jones, he's been an All-Pro. I think he should get All-Pro honors for a second time. We'll revisit this in 6 weeks when the season is officially over, and I'm do my All-Pro list of who I think should be on the team. But I think at this point in the season, it's clear that he's been one of the best corners in the league, and he's been probably one of, if not the best punt returner in the league this year. So let me know what y'all think. Do you think Marcus Jones should be an All-Pro? Do you think he shouldn't be, or do you think he'll be close to it? Or if it's somebody else that you think as a returner, as a punt returner, or at a cornerback should be in place of him at All-Pro. But he's having a phenomenal season, and the Patriots have just been impressing me all season. Definitely didn't expect this out of the Patriots. So leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, a comment, and share for others to see.